I'm coming. I realize there's a meeting at 7:30. Something else needed addressed.
The city business.
It won't work, Kevin. It has to be locked on both sides.
Yeah.
Welcome again to the June 13th regular council meeting. I have 7:31 p.m. Mrs. Arcisi, will you please call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Barker.
Here.
Mr. Bilkey.
Here.
Ms. Brandt. Here. Ms. Tully. Here. And Mr. Ventura.
Here. Now I ask Chaplain Tom O'Brien to lead us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
With bowed heads, let us pray. Almighty God, Father of all mankind and Judge over nations, we pray Thee to guide our work in this meeting. Give our council members the courage to work in a harmonious way to ensure that the goals of our community are met in a timely manner. Tomorrow we celebrate our U.S. Army's 244th birthday. We pray for our brave men and women. Blessed are those who serve in our country's military as they guard us from both domestic and foreign enemies. With your blessing, Almighty God, may they maintain peace in the world by discharging their duties both honestly and well. And finally, O God of mercy, the strength of the weak, the comfort of those who suffer, mercifully accept our prayers on behalf of our neighbors and loved ones who are ill or shut in. Cheer them and bring them thy blessing of health and happiness. Amen. Amen. And now please face the flag and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Next on the agenda is the financial report. Do I have a motion acknowledging the financial report?
Oh, sure. I'll make a motion to acknowledge that we received the financial report on June 10th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I make a motion accepting the minutes as submitted by the clerk of council from the May 23rd meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have a proclamation for the India Food Fair of 2019. And it reads, whereas the second India Festival in the city of Macedonia has taken place on Saturday, July 27th at 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. at St. Gregorius Indian Orthodox Church grounds at 1252 East Aurora Road. And whereas the India Festival is an event to bridge cultures, generations, communities through one day of togetherness. And whereas it is a day when visitors are encouraged to participate in a thematic display of rich culture and diversity of two great nations, India and the United States of America, and promises an immersive environment that salutes history. And whereas visitors will have the opportunity to sample delicious Indian food and participate in an array of fun-filled activities, music, and dance. And whereas St. Gregorius Church has been instrumental in reaching out to the community locally, nationally, and internationally, establishing Sunday school ministry and providing opportunities for all members continuing their ministry. Now therefore, I, Mayor Nick Molnar, Mayor of the City of Macedonia, do hereby designate and proclaim July 27th, 2019 as India Festival USA Embracing Diversity Day. Good stuff. If you can attend that, that's a really, really neat thing. And if you like Indian food like I do, good times. All right, next up we have our public comments. We ask you to come to the podium, state your name and address, and we ask you to stay to 5 minutes or less. And first on our list is Mr. O'Brien.
Your Honor, Tom O'Brien, 1049 Thornton Court, Macedonia. Just have a short announcement. Tomorrow will not only be in the Army's 244th birthday, it is Flag Day, in which day we honor Old Glory. And our American Legion, Nordonia Hills, Post 801, will be doing a flag ceremony at the Veterans Memorial Park here in Macedonia at 100 hours. And for my civilian friends, that's 1:30 in the afternoon. The public is more than welcome to attend. And from what I understand, our adjutant and commander will attempt to furl and unfurl the American flag, and I'm told that a distance of 30 feet, it doesn't look half bad. So if you're available, please attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Next on our list is Tanya Niemer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Niemer. I live at 6902 Boston Heights, Ohio, 44236. And I'm here to introduce myself because I'm running for judge of the Stowe Municipal Court, which services Macedonia. And I'm just going to give you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I'm running because, like you, I care about public safety and I care about our community. My kids spend a lot of time here in Macedonia, and I really enjoy coming here. And I want to thank you guys for making it a safe community for my kids. But there is a crisis right now with our drug and opioid addiction, and that deals with our kids as well. And the municipal court is the first place that people encounter when they encounter the law. It's what's known as the people's court. And people don't start as felons, they start with the minor crimes. And it's up to the judge to be able to identify somebody who has an addiction problem and to be able to provide solutions under the law for those problems. And that's why I want to be judge, because I want to be able to start a drug court in the Stowe Municipal Court. I think it's very crucial and important. It's something that needed to be started a long time ago, and I can do that. I've had experience working not only in private practice with multiple municipal courts, but also in nonprofit work and with nonprofits who are service providers and can help provide creative solutions with the drug court. So I'd appreciate it if you'd all think of me and remember me in November. My slogan is Niemer in November, 2 N's. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
Next on our list is Mr. Casmer.
Good evening, everyone. John Casmer, Chinook Trail, Macedonia. I'm giving the Longwood Manor Committee report tonight. Just a few items here. I want to catch up, some follow-up here on the community garden. The vice president, well, both my vice presidents and I met with the Twinsburg Parks and Rec department. His name is Mr. What is his name? Derek Schroeder in Twinsburg. And we talked with them about how they've been running their community garden. So we'd like to get on the agenda, Jessica, if we could, next Wednesday to give our proposal for starting a community garden here in Wildwood Park. There is grant money available for community gardens, which we're investigating. We'll give you some updates on that. Secondly, the work sessions are continuing at the Manor every Saturdays at 11. We're waiting for Mr. Belke to show up there, because you said you would. No, you got to do that.
What day, what time?
Just kidding.
It's 11 o'clock every Saturday?
Yeah, 11 o'clock. Right now, the members are spreading and these are the members that, by the way, that have signed permits or waivers to work at the Manor. We're spreading a generous load of mulch that we got from the city around the Manor and the flower beds. It's looking better all the time. We're planting more flowers from the Garden Club gave us flowers. We're restoring the wood on the outside of the house. A lot of it's very old. This is those windows up on the second floor on the old part, 1926. And so we are trying to preserve those. We're painting them, fixing them up. So that work is continuing. And let's see. I guess we do have a request to run an announcement in the e-messenger on a monthly basis announcing that the Manor just approved it before the meeting to announce that the Manor is available for events. They have to be a certain size. They have to be approved by the city. But we're trying to get the word around that you could have little small parties or weddings, receptions, things like that. I think that's about. The Twinsburg Library and the Northfield Library, they both brought a copy of our book that we wrote, This Place Matters. So it's now in the libraries, it'll be in circulation, and you can check that out. The name of that is This Place Matters, of that book. That's all I got.
Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Mrs. Loya.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Loya. This week, 14 years ago, my husband Tom and I moved to 9186 North Bedford Road. We've learned many things since moving to this home, and it's mostly pertains to the impact of stormwater to our property. We've seen heavy stormwater infiltration to our property, which has done significant damage, mostly due to erosion. We've also seen heavy stormwater infiltration into our basement, which has severely altered the structural integrity of our home. We've also learned a lot about what it means to be in the designated FEMA AE flood zone. We had no idea we'd be learning all about this stuff. So I first started reapproaching City Council back in January 2015 regarding our stormwater issues. And over the years, I've insisted upon the fact that our stormwater issues are only going to continue to get worse. And they are. I have never disagreed with FEMA's update to our property's floodplain status because our property is certainly designed to hold and retain stormwater. My contention over the past years has been that our home and my family just shouldn't be in the middle of it. Study upon study has been done of the Legend North Bedford area. Studies done always indicated that a fix to our stormwater problems would be very costly, and so our problems were then taken over as a regional issue by the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District a few years ago. I've been very skeptical of any beneficial solutions to our problems by NEORSD because these problems have been going on for decades and no one has been able to seem to tackle them or want to tackle them. Of course, until now. So Mayor Molnar, thank you. Council President Tully, Council Vice President Ventura, of course, Mr. Barker, Mr. Bilkey, and of course, Ms. Brandt, thank you. Previous council members, thank you. Previous mayors, beginning with Mayor Kukta, thank you. Since 2006, when my husband and I first approached City Council and the city about our stormwater problems, you've all been there to listen, and you've helped us get to this point in time. My husband and I, we were notified in January of 2019 that on behalf of the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, NEORSD would be purchasing our property, demolishing our house, and utilizing the land for a stormwater retention project. They don't quite know the scope of the project as of yet. They want to get the land first. Our purchase agreement has been signed, and we understand that our Macedonia, they're calling it the Macedonia project or the Macedonia package, is going to be on the Board of Trustees agenda for July 18th, and that's when it will be voted on and decided. It's been a very long road to get to this point, and it's still very hard for me and my family to believe that this is actually happening. But again, to our elected officials, thank you. Thank you for listening and for getting us here. Please know that since this proposition was first presented to us by the Western Reserve Land Conservancy and by NEORSD, we're both aware of my desire to have our home demolished as soon as possible. At that first meeting back in January, I made sure that I want to have things taken care of in a timely manner. I don't want Macedonia visitors, residents, and particularly our neighbors to have to deal with a vacant property for a long period of time. I'm told that should everything go through properly, our home will be demolished by the winter of 2019. And I'm sure that all of you will know that I will stay on top of this issue. My husband and I were not sure what the future holds for us. Staying in Macedonia would be a great option, but we just don't know where we're going to end up. Again, all of this has been quite overwhelming and very hard to believe. We're just taking one thing at a time. So I'm very pleased for the City of Macedonia to be gaining open land to be utilized for much-needed stormwater retention, especially in the North Bedford and Ledge area. And I only hope that the future project to be developed on this land will benefit many. Our property is not the only one that NURSD and the Western Reserve Land Conservancy is looking to purchase, as there are others involved on our street. I just hope that the City of Macedonia continues its efforts with local stormwater relief, as not all Macedonia stormwater issues do fall under that regional umbrella covered by NURSD. So I want to say thank you to all of you for listening and getting us here to this point. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you to Kathy for your patience and your diligence and keeping everyone abreast of this. Thank you to Mayor Molnar for hopefully, finally getting that done. And Ms. Tully, you were involved in this, and the Loya family is a great asset to our city, and they've been great supporters of our city, even in the midst of their problems. They're having to wait, being told to wait again and again. Kathy and Tom have done a lot with stormwater for everyone in the city. So I appreciate your patience, Kathy, and I appreciate you guys giving Macedonia a chance.
Thank you.
And I'll add to that, I know you probably felt like it was lip service for a long time, and, as a councilman, I came to your house countless times and saw the problem, and, I'm just happy that it's finally taken care of. I can tell you when I went down to visit with NURSD with Mr. Gelati over there, we came in with the gloves on, but left with something I didn't anticipate. But at the end of it all, it's not about taking credit for that, because all these people had a hand in this thing. So I thank you for your patience.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you've listened for all these 13 years now of this going on, so thank you.
The funny thing is that I didn't have anything to do with it, but I was there when the basement and I really, helped that way. So I helped on the front end. I didn't do anything on the back end, and I'll be helping to move them out of their house.
Thank you. All right, moving into pending or new legislation. First up is ordinance number 46, 2019.
I move to offer ordinance number 46, 2019 for its first, second, and third read by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance, amending ordinance number 114, 2018, relative to current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Macedonia for the period of January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019.
Mr. Veras, can you give us a brief explanation, please?
Sure, Mayor. This is a continuing adjustment, cleanup, realignment, if you will, as we go through the year for different things. The biggest adjustment here is for the Guadalupe Stormwater Retention Project, where we're adding $100,000 in revenue and $100,000 in estimated cost based upon the engineer's recent project estimates.
Just to add to that point, that's coming from our NERSD account.
Correct. Our, what do they call that?
Cost share.
Community cost share, that's right. And we're also, there's design engineering for the Route 8 and Golden Link Crossings, right turn in, right turn out project as well that we're adding to this amendment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance number 46, 2019 to the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 46 passes. Ordinance 47.
I'd like to offer ordinance 47, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Huntington National Bank to finance equipment and vehicles for the Service Department and the Parks and Recreation Department.
Director Veras, can you touch on this one as well?
Okay, we'll be replacing 6 pieces of equipment / vehicles for the service department, and I went out to bid from 3 banks, and Huntington was the
the winning choice. So we'll be replacing financing that we currently have on the books that costs about $86,000 a year for equipment previously purchased, and this will end up being a slightly less than that over a 3-year period annually.
Thank you. Any further discussion? What's your pleasure?
Move that we pass and post ordinance 47, 2019 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 47 passes. Ordinance 48.
May I offer ordinance number 48, 2019 for its first reading by title only?
An ordinance amending and clarifying section
5 minutes is up.
1121.11 of the codified ordinances of the city of Macedonia regarding street trees.
Director Goodetti, can you touch on this briefly, please?
Sure. So the city's codified ordinances, they currently have regulations that require property owners to maintain or trim trees that are currently in proximity to their property, as well as remove any diseased or dead trees. What this section does is clarify that the city can require developers, when coming in and creating new residential developments, to plant new street trees. So the city will still maintain the option to do it itself, but we can also require the developer to plant the trees.
Thank you. Ordinance 49.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 49, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry, Jen.
An ordinance amending section 909.04 of the codified ordinances of the city of Macedonia relative to noxious weeds.
Director Goodetti, I'll ask for you to explain that as well.
So this is a simple change. Our code currently provides for notice of enforcement of the noxious weed regulations to go out no later than June 1st of every year. This changes it, provides a little bit of flexibility for the building commissioner to make the determination when the best time to send that notification is. That's all this is doing.
So essentially a little bit of cleanup.
Correct.
Thank you. What's your pleasure?
I offer to pass and post ordinance number 49, 2019 to the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 49 passes. Are there any other motions or legislative actions?
So in lieu of making a motion, I just want to make sure that everyone in the public is aware, the council is aware, and that the mayor is going to be moving money. There's an IT problem this week at City Hall. I'm not sure it affected the rec center or not.
Yes.
But, so we need to fix the problem. We're just not sure how much it's going to cost. We did have some money set aside for someone similar, and we're just going to move that money over. I just want to make sure the public knows that council is aware of the money being moved, and then we'll probably, discuss it more at the next meeting about how the exact cost was. But this is something that's more of an emergency than pretty much anything. Our email's down, and I know the mayor is going to address the problem probably in his mayor's report.
Thank you. Any other motions or legislative actions? Correspondence from the clerk?
I have no too.
All right, on to the mayor's report. First and foremost, our monthly mayor's court report for May of 2019 is $32,917. So I'll touch on the IT issues we've been having this week. We have had no email for days. We kind of have a system that's been a hodgepodge. It's been band-aided together and pieced and parted over time, and it's finally come to a head. We continue to have different types of problems in our IT network, whether it be the email network, the phone system, the internet. I mean, it's just become a major problem. We were already looking into purchasing a system to streamline the city with some software. What we're going to do is take that money and have some consultants come in, dig through everything that we have throughout the city, and we do have quite a bit, to assess it and tell us what we need to do to get this thing fixed once and for all. We cannot continue with the way we're going. I cannot handcuff departments and not have any production in those departments because email's down, which causes the internet to go down. And I want to be very clear that this is not a problem with our IT director. He has done the best he could to keep our costs down and keep this system up and running. At this point, it's my feeling that we have to take action. with technology, the way it's moving and how fast things change, we haven't rolled with the times. We've had probably better part of 20 years of just, again, different mayors and people working within City Hall. And we didn't even have an IT director until, what, 4 or 5 years ago? We had AJ.
No, 3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
So we really have fallen behind, and it's the high time to assess this thing, get it fixed, and move forward with the technology. So I'm gonna move that money, I'm gonna have these folks come in. They specifically work with communities. Right now, they're down in Charlottesville, I can't speak today, Charlottesville, Virginia. And if you know where that's at, I'm not going again. It's a very large community, and if they can take a community like that and make it right, I think this should be a cakewalk for them. So I'm very confident in their abilities. We had a lot of good conversation today. They're currently helping with our IT director to get things fixed so we can get back up and running, hopefully by tomorrow morning, and get the city back on track. So just know that I'm taking these dollars to move us forward. That's the intention of it.
Mayor, is this affecting our emergency services at all?
No, our emergency service is not having an impact. They have a separate system, and I'm sure he'll talk about that in his report as well. The next thing I want to touch on is OOPS. I've always called it OOPS. OUPS. It's the 811 you call. If you're ever going to dig, you're going to put a shovel in the ground, you're supposed to call OOPS. I've had some questions of late as to what OOPS is and why are these trucks that say USIC are driving down my road. Those folks are called, they have to be here within 48 hours unless it's an emergency, to put flags in the ground to let you know where the utilities are buried in the ground. If you see them on your road, we're aware of them. I also added a service this year to where we are informed when someone requests an OOPS so that we know where they're at, what they're doing. And it's been a nice tool for us to give to the building department to go and say, well, you're doing work in town, but you're not registered with us. Kind of need to have that. So it also gives us the heads up when people try to come and rip our roads open, and it's been a nice tool. So just know that if you see it's generally USIC, and I think there's a few others, if they're putting those flags in the ground, they're doing that to mark utilities in the ground, and that's their job each day.
Do you know how long those flags have to stay there?
They
I know like
are valid
you do
for
the
10 days.
Okay, we
If
could
after
take
10
them out
days,
at 10
the work has not begun, they have to call again and do it again.
Okay.
Maybe it's 2 weeks now. I think it's 10
Still
days.
10 days, but.
Just saying,
there's
sometimes
some
those flags-
setbacks going on with them currently because of the volume and the lack of manpower we're experiencing, because we do this for our ditching work or driveway culvert replacements. We're experiencing almost up to 5 days. Can wait before they come out.
I think residents just don't know when they can take the flags out of their yards, once they've been put there.
So what I usually tell them.
When the works are done.
Yeah, if you see those flags in your yard, please don't remove them. Within 10 days, something should be occurring. If you have questions, by all means, call City Hall, or if there's an entity there, you generally know who they are, what they're doing, so you can ask questions, and we'll help they answer those questions as well. Next on my list is Director Gomerick is not, or Director Manley, God, I used her old name.
Yeah.
Director Manley is not here today. She unfortunately had to attend a funeral, so I'm going to touch on the Spirit of Macedonia Festival the last week, and I think it was a great success. I think we had an awesome, awesome turnout. Our fireworks were amazing. I heard a lot of good things. So I'm thanking everyone that came to that, even the goat yoga, which I can't really relate to goat yoga, and I don't really understand it, but we had a heck of a turnout, and it's sold out. So I guess having a goat stand on your back while you're doing yoga is a very popular thing. If you enjoy that, awesome. But we also had our 5K, which was a great success. I think that sold out as well, and had a great turnout for that, too.
Yeah, I believe, Janet, doubled from registered people to the day of the race. There was, doubled in size.
I was going to say thank you to the Alzheimer's Association for partnering and Chick-fil-A. I didn't win Chick-fil-A for a year, but.
But she did win her age group in her.
Yeah, I did win my age group.
In the 5K.
And also to Fleet Feet, because those who won their age group also got a coupon. And every person, for the first time ever, got a medal. So thank you to all the partners.
As my niece says, within a charity race, we're all winners.
And I also like to thank all our sponsors. There was obviously a lot of sponsors that had a hand in our local community that helped contribute to make this a great success, and I want to build on that going forward, so thank you to the community for that. Another thing I want to touch on, I got an email from the Akron-Cleveland, Association of Realtors, and there was a very shocking thing that I read in here that it really kind of made me feel pretty good about where we stand as the city of Macedonia. So they give the median days in RPR, which basically means from the day a house hits the market to the day it's marked sold, how many days there is. In Summit County, Macedonia is number 2, 18 days. That doesn't speak volumes about where we're at as a community and a council and an administration. That should make everyone feel really, really good. The only town that beat us was Mogador, and I don't know a whole lot about Mogador, but I'll live with number 2 at 18 days. That's pretty awesome, and we should all be pretty proud of that, because that means that we're a desirable place to live, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I know, just to speak on that houses that's gone up in my neighborhood have sold over the weekend. They've gone up on Friday and then sold on Saturday.
So that's awesome stuff. Next thing, my wife had sent me a little quote from Ronald Reagan, and I just wanted to share it today because I don't know what made me think of it just up here, but it speaks volumes of where we're at as a community and what we should be doing as leaders of a community. And it says, there is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. I try to live that every day of my life, and I hope everyone that watches this or hears this thinks about that too, because I think that says an awful lot about where we are as leaders in a community or in anything we do in life. So keep that in the back of your mind. Next thing is the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall. This probably won't make it to video, so our large crowd that's here today, I'm letting you know that from June 13th to the 16th, we also have pamphlets up in the front there. It's a great thing, should be attended, and pay some homage to those that lost their lives, and I think it's an awesome thing, and it's a great honor to have that in the Nordonia Hills community. And last but not least, please do not drive distracted. Put the phones down and drive the car. Moving on to committee reports.
Parks and Recs Committee is next Wednesday, the 19th, at 6 PM upstairs in the rec center. That's it.
Any other committee reports? Moving on to department reports. Director Nanavich.
Thank you, Mayor. Our 5 baseball fields are currently all in play, with the exception of the rain that we get at times. 3 of our fields need a little more top dressing that the contractor will come out to provide to us. They were short, but it's not hindering the gameplay. It allows us to go out there, still drag the fields and have them prepped. So with the purchase of our new machine, hopefully to get in a couple of weeks here, we're looking forward to being able to maintain these fields even better with that piece of equipment. And also with this company that we're buying from, they've offered for us to come out there for the laser grading system on this machine, that they will train members of our staff. Then they'll put them up in hotel out in Indiana by South Bend and train them for a couple of days also. So if we can, if I can work out a schedule with them, they're more than willing to help us out. With that, Field B lighting is moving forward. All of the concrete bases have been poured and is currently curing right now. And next week, scheduled to start putting up the stanchions and the light fixtures on top. Estimated time, weather pending right now, because they're calling for rain all next week. Don't know how much I can stop, but we're hoping within 2 weeks we're gonna have the lights up and operational on Field B. So get your game schedules out there and start booking this field. Free mulch that is over at 9683 in front of City Hall here. There's still a little bit available. What is out there is all that is left. We'll hold on to it out there for maybe a couple more weeks, and then we will have to clean it up. And then we can work at our yard at 9000 to open up for the branch drop-off to bring that back to the residents. So, and that's all I have.
On the light piece, I'd just like to thank NOPEC, because they did fund a great portion of those lights, and that's a very expensive venture. I think in all that was about $180,000, correct? And they funded a good majority of that. So one ball field at that cost, that was a nice thing for them to give back to the community and help us. So we owe a big thank you to them. Mr. Gelati.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'll give a update on the road program. Work is taking place on multiple roads simultaneously right now. The largest amount of that work is on Melody Lane. As I'm sure most of you are aware, Melody Lane is currently down to 1 lane of traffic, northbound only. So we ask northbound traffic to please drive safely through the work zone as our crews are out there working. Southbound traffic, please follow the detour. The detour is clearly signed. Valley View Road, as you're aware, I believe Valley View Road will be paved under separate contract at a later date. Let the council know that we will receive and open bids right here on June 21st. And if all goes according to plan, we'll have a recommendation for a paving contractor to the council at our July meeting. And the only other thing I'd like to add is congratulations to Ms. Loya. Thank you for coming in with the good news and the kind words. And if you have 1 minute after the meeting, I'd like to speak with you. That's all.
It's not bad news for her, is it?
We can't have bad news at this point.
What could be worse?
Thank you. Director Veras.
Thank you, Mayor. The deadline for filing the income tax return for tax year 2018 is quickly approaching. It's July 15th this year. To date, we've paid out 460 refunds for a total of $113,836. End of my report.
Thank you. Chief Ripley.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas our truck was at the festival this weekend, and everyone seemed to enjoy it. They liked touching it, kicking the tires. It was a big hit. For those who didn't see in the paper, there's also on both sides of the basket at the end of the aerial, there is a logo for Nordonia Knights, which everybody in the community was very proud. They also asked me, when is it going on the rest of our trucks? So we're going to see what we can do about that too. The only other thing I have is it is summertime, which means the kids we bring in the flush hydrants are out flushing hydrants, so there should be a sign in your neighborhood if we're in that area. If you get discoloration in your water, run it until it's clear and you should be good. End of report.
And they are working hard because I walked by them today. There was a distinct odor from that water, and can't deny that one. So tell them thank you for working hard.
Okay.
Lieutenant Yakupovich.
This time of year, summertime, the kids are out on summer break. Just want to remind everybody, obey the speed limits in the residential areas, slow down. The little kids are out playing, safety above all. Secondly, I want to assure the public and anyone on council that, the emergency portion, the police, fire, dispatch, we're on a separate network. So the issues that the City Hall and Rec Center are facing really don't affect us at this time. And we have redundancies built in, so we'll keep everything up and running.
Cool.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Director Goodetti.
No report, sir.
Do we have any unfinished business? Any new business?
I just want to reiterate with the veterans, Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. I was up there today. It looks amazing. There are tons of volunteers there to help you. There are veteran services on site. I know that my friend was able to get a DD-214 at a previous event, so that's something they can help you with. There's grief services on site. You could look up a name to find it on the wall and make it etching. There's POW MIA stuff up there. It's very important to me and my family to just let the community know that the Vietnam War is something that we need to teach our new generations, our younger generations about, and to understand the gravity of the whole police operation in Vietnam. So please visit the wall and bring your family and bring your kids, and let's not forget those veterans. And you can park at the high school to catch a bus to go over there. Okay.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
That's true. At this hour, there's probably no one there.
Yeah, Mark, I thought Mark was going to
I thought since it was summer session, that everyone was going to be wearing their shirt and jeans. Well, that's what I'm known for, Kevin. Stupid hair and stupid dress.